Calum was 11 when he was diagnosed, and we lost Calum at 12. So I'm Caroline. I'm Calum's mum, and together with my husband Duncan and Calum's twin sister, our daughter Jenna, we carried on Calum's wishes to start Calum's Cabin. The initial idea of supporting one family in a caravan, I think, it's really evolved. Yeah. Calum was diagnosed out the blue in January 2006 with an inoperable brain tumour. There was no warning, there was nothing. And we lost him 13 months later. And throughout these 13 months, Calum had met a variety of people in waiting rooms and wards that didn't have the same happy memories that we had. So he thought it'd be a great idea for families to come to Bute to make special, irreplaceable memories. And 17 years down the line, he's still keeping us very busy. Can't see, feel, touch, but we know his presence is there, and yeah. So we now support. We were actually counting this morning. Could be up to 17 families a week. Francesca especially gets an emergency phone call, and maybe there's a family who desperately need a holiday. All of whom have a child suffering from cancer and need support. The initial idea of supporting one family in a caravan, I think, it's really evolved. Yeah.
I take in the bookings for Calum's Cabin for the holiday properties, and my role is to make it as smooth as possible for families who get a holiday with us, and prepare them as far as possible and prepare everything so that when they get their holiday and they arrive on Bute or other properties, things are ready for them and they really don't have to think about any sort of details, that it's sort of a complete package is what we aim to do. So I communicate with the families, and I will call them and explain how they will get to Bute, and just see what questions they have and see if there's anything particular happening at that time for them that we can help them with. I would also be in touch with hospitals should we have any holidays that become available at short notice. And also we do have a waiting list, so I have to also be in touch with those families to see if they can take a holiday.
I'm in the office. I do a lot of the behind the scenes. I support Francesca at the moment with some of the physical stuff. It's kind of hard to put down exactly what I do. I've got my finger in every pie. It's a wee bit of it all. Microsoft Access that was used for our database, which is, if you've used it before, it's very clunky, quite difficult to navigate and to import data from. If you're looking for something quickly, you can't really do that very well. We also used a lot of Excel spreadsheets. We like a spreadsheet, but it was mostly on that, and all of our, Francesca will be able to tell you more about our bookings, which were all done through Microsoft Forms and then printed out as hard copies, weren't they?
Yeah, and then inputted into Access. So we had to input all the data. So then we had all the forms filed in files. So we had to then also send out booking offer letters for holidays in paper forms and by emails. And so we relied on that being responded to, being signed and sent back to us if they were to accept a holiday. So there's quite a lot of paper and different steps involved where there could have been mistakes made, whereas it's quite a lot better now, to say the least. Everything's in one place and it's easy to share. We can all share it as a team. We also relied on Caroline's wealth of knowledge and memory of families and connections in hospitals and all of that.
Stress more than anything else, wasn't it? You were constantly worried that there was going to be a mistake because there were so many different steps. A mistake's made at one step, then it might not show up until later down the line.
Till 4 families arrived.
We always joke, touch wood, it doesn't happen, but that other, if there was a miscommunication with different letters and things like that, that extra families might arrive and might have to actually just stay with us.
So in our dining room, we at the very, very beginning, we just had the cabin. So in our dining room, there's still the paper marks on the wall where it would have been pinned up on the wall. And what we would have done was we would have allocated, a family would have applied. In those days, they applied in writing by an application that they would have downloaded. They would then send in the application. We would allocate them a week, then send them back, as Francesca says, the confirmation letter with the date and another form that they had to complete to say that that date suited them. And yeah, there was lots of, even at that point, there was lots of toing and froing that something could have gone wrong. And then the cabin came on board, and so it was double the marks on the wall with 2 calendars. And then when we took on Mount Stewart, we dealt with it and it was the exact same. But then the weeks, we're now supporting about 170, 180 families a year. Yeah, something needed to change. It couldn't be too manual.
It was getting quite stressful if Francesca was off or planning to be off. You were having to kind of think so far ahead to try and get everything, all these steps in place for families further ahead for when she's not going to be here. And then when things like cancellations pop up, then there's a bit of a rush to try and find, where's the waiting list, who's on the waiting list, who's at the top of the waiting list, who can come for these dates. And it still is a bit challenging because you get to know your families personally and their circumstances and things.
It's a lot quicker if you think that we can generate an email through Salesforce and do the whole booking in process literally within a minute. If they would like to take the holiday at the last minute to fill a cancellation, we can do that all quickly and get them organised for their holiday really so much quicker than all the previous arrangements.
They went and researched. We had looked at, was it something tapestry we looked at as well, and there was about 5 we looked at, and they decided along with ourselves that Salesforce was the best platform for the size of our charity and what we were looking for, and that as we grew, there could be add-ons, and it wasn't just a set platform. That Salesforce was the best option for us.
Elaine's been phenomenal with talking us through it and helping us set this up.
It's been fantastic and it has helped so much, but really she was very gentle, given that Salesforce, the idea sounds incredible. Then you look at it and you think, gosh, I've got to work out how this works. But she helped me step by step and really listened to what we needed. So she was very gentle, but also just was able to say, yes, we can make this work, and just said, yes, it can, you can do it, you have a go, it will be okay. So it gave you the confidence to use it and not worry about, I don't know, destroying a whole load of data or something. And for the bookings, it's just worked really well. She's helped with the form, which they fill in the application form. It comes straight into Salesforce. So the information's just at our fingertips, really. But working with Elaine, it was very exciting because she wanted it to work for us, and it really has.
She's been so enthusiastic the whole way through, and our confidence when you say something that you think, oh, maybe that won't work, or maybe we can't do that, and nothing has phased her at all. You say, oh, I want this to happen, and she'll be like, right, that's fine, let's do it.
Or I have asked some quite silly questions, and she's been very, very kind.
She's just really, she's been amazing, and she's transformed the way we work.
She has.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
And given us, as Nikita and Francesca say, given us faith and belief in ourselves that nothing's a stupid question, that if we think, well, actually that would be better if it was worked that way, or could you help us with that, then yeah, no, absolutely amazing.
Nothing's been too much of a trouble, and you'll send her an email saying, oh, it's saying this to me, and she'll find out. If she doesn't know, she'll find out, and she's straight back to you to let you know, well, this isn't something to worry about, or this is something that we can fix. So no, she's been great.
I would reckon that it could be, would I be wrong in saying, Francesca, at least half a day per family, maybe longer?
I would say at least. I mean, I'm thinking, if I think in the terms of when we open the bookings and the applications start coming in, obviously there's a chunk of time that we leave for them to apply. And then the process of actually sorting the applications and making the allocations.
And I would say at least half a day, if not 3/4 of per day per family. And one of the things that was amazing as well was last year I wasn't at home for about 6-8 weeks when the booking process was happening. And Francesca was at home, and we managed to do it all remotely, which is what we'll be able to do again this year when Francesca's not at home.
Yeah,
so
there's an automatic response, and there's also, they can say, you know, actually we need to change our dates or whatever. It happens much quicker than having to send things backwards and forwards and call them to follow up.
I think it's kind of like minutes now rather than days or weeks.
I think the main things, so what we're describing to you just now is the difference that Salesforce has made to us. But actually, if you're in a hospital ward, your child isn't well, but you're wanting something to look forward to, the last thing you're needing is for us to be phoning you to say, did you receive that? Did you receive that through the post? Because they might be in hospital. They might have applied on a good day, and today might be a good day, might have been yesterday, the day before, and next week might be a bad week. So we're talking about the difference that it's made to ease us, but actually the difference that it's easing the family. Would you agree, Francesca?
Yeah, the feedback has been, gosh, this is so much easier from families. So if you imagine we send them things, and even if they hadn't got it in the post, they'd then think about they'd need to print it out and sign it and send it back and find a stamp. When do you have time to go and, I don't know, find a stamp to send it back? It's so lovely, and even when you're offering the holidays, you do get people saying this is something, you know, to look forward to. I can't wait to tell the children. You know, it's a privilege to give people the opportunity to take a holiday as a family, and yeah, it's, the feedback's wonderful. The feedback can be very emotional because it is so joyful and people are so grateful. I might not. I think I'll stop.
It's very humbling. It's very, very humbling, and sometimes we get feedback on a card, sometimes we get it in a memory book, and sometimes Francesca gets it per email. In the last few weeks, she sent us a couple of emails that, and it's about the whole family unit. So it's about, not necessarily, it is about the child who's not well, but it's about siblings that maybe they haven't been forgotten anything, but they're paramount as well, but the attention just hasn't been on them, if that makes sense. It's about the separation between if one parent's in hospital and the other's at home, and it's about coming together, relaxing, a lady wrote a message last week to say that her children were so different when they came, but she thinks that's because she's different, she's relaxed and she's at ease and at peace. You do have to fully appreciate, but sometimes for a second you maybe don't appreciate what the families, how much of a difference it makes to the families.
I'm very grateful for Salesforce.
And I think also you're very grateful as well, Francesca, for like how Elaine set up the reminder of the tasks.
Yeah.
So we know what needs to be done for each week for each family.
Yeah, that helps.
Which is really, really important as well.
We've just started with Elaine and her employee Yao, who is setting up a separate part of Salesforce for fundraisers. So we get a lot of fundraisers, like individuals that are doing sponsored runs, walks, bake sales that come in mostly through Just Giving. So we're in the process of setting up a new way of looking at that, which will help us keep on top of everyone that's coming in, all the funds that are coming in, making sure that they're kept in touch with and supported throughout their fundraising journeys as well. Again, that will be saving time, but it'll also be helping us keep in communication with these people and making sure that they feel valued, and hopefully in turn the word of mouth will spread. Calum's Cabin are so supportive and so grateful, which we always have been, but this might just help us be able to make sure people know just exactly how grateful we are. And also lets us keep a track of how much is coming in, how much each fundraiser's bringing in, if they're repeat fundraisers. So again, there's still more changes to come, but we're really enthusiastic about all of that coming in. Our whole plan, our whole mission statement is to try and keep families together and help to support them through the worst of times.
I'd reach out to Elaine, but I also would say it's there's so much to it that you don't realize is there that you can use. And like Caroline's saying, it's going to grow, and then Nikita with the fundraising, but all this is going to join up and it's going to really help support the work we do.
I think I would say to anybody, don't be frightened. It's a big step, it's a big undertaking, but with the right support, like we have the right support with Elaine, which has been phenomenal, then it just makes everything so much easier, so much streamlined. So yeah, I would say definitely take that jump and do it. Definitely.